So I just figured we could invite other people to learn. So I'm going to do a quick introduction. So hello, everybody. This is Jodi Suson with Suson Essentials. We are live streaming from Atlanta, Georgia. And what is this building called?
This is the Little 5 Points Community Center for Arts.
The Little 5 Points
Center for Arts.
Okay, I hope y'all heard that. Because, it's kind of been a funky energy day today, hasn't it? Yeah, there's just been some weird energy. And, but today we're going to talk about the 3 R's, which is how to, remove those things that don't serve you, to replace those things with, people, things, food, whatever that fuels your soul, that allows you then to receive the light and let God, guide you, right? Or higher source power, right? Because God can take a lot of different forms. So we'll just say higher source, and allow source to guide you on your path. My husband always says, Andrew, this is my husband, Andrew Thayer Calhoun. He always says that I always try to, I fire my clients right away, right? And really the reason is, and I want people, as Philip knows, I really want people to be empowered to do what they need to do, right? And because I was tethered to a doctor for 2 decades, and we'll tell you that story in a minute, it's really important to me, not that you should be able to come back and see me when you need me, but I really want you to do you. And I want you to have the confidence to do you, right? And so if I can instill that in the community and then you instill that in the next person, right, then I think we're collectively raising the consciousness and the vibration of the universe. So that's kind of where I'm at. So a little bit about me. So first of all, let me just thank Philip and Adam for having me here. Philip for connecting me. I'm so grateful. This is actually my first talk on the 3 R's. So I created the program just a short while ago because I was counseling someone and it came out as a channel, because I'm a channel. And I do public speaking all the time because I have I have a radio show, which is why this is live streaming. So here's the story. So and I'll pass these out. Or Andrew, would you pass out the
buck slips?
Yeah, the buck slips. So why do I do what I do? So I was a bodybuilder. You'll see those photos. And I was good. I weighed about 120 pounds. Oh, yeah. So they're up here. Yeah, I forgot about that. So I weighed 120 pounds. I bench pressed 185. And definitely it was the divine masculine. Still working on the divine feminine. Just saying, spent 2 weeks in training on that. We're closer. And so I was a sugar addict. Twinkies, Hostess Ho-Hos, Ding Dongs before gymnastics week workout, right? Just so I'd had the energy and what I thought was the mental acuity, right? To do what I needed to do. And someone I remember, I don't know, I think it was a sophomore, junior year in high school said, well, sugar's really bad for you. And I'm thinking tooth decay, right? And I'm like, well, that's okay. I've never had a cavity. So I guess I have nothing to worry about. So, and it wasn't the case at all, right? Because we know that sugar lights up 8 pleasure centers of the brain, right? Cocaine lights up 1. So we're not encouraging you to do the other. Actually, I'm not encouraging you to do either, right? But I was a sugar addict, and so I had racing thoughts. I was very abrasive. I had mood swings. And by the time I was 30, and I'm 58 now, I was at work, and they had asked me to do what's called a 360-degree profiler. So I was in finance, by the way, for 30 years before wellness. So my background's in math. And math does run the universe, so it's not such a bad thing. So I wasn't doing so well at work. And they said, well, we want you to do this 360-degree profiler. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. Well, you hand out this questionnaire to the people that you choose at work, the people that you think like you. Okay. So, and they did like me, but they all had the same feedback that, like, about this aggression, right? And that I wasn't very kind. And at that point, I took it upon myself to really delve into leadership, mindset, self-awareness, and how do we shift our thoughts to become the best versions of ourselves. But that wasn't just it. They also misdiagnosed me with having bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, so schizo 2. And now I know we have a bunch of, healers in the room. So we all know that we get pulled by energy really easily. So that's, and they didn't teach us this in the second grade. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying, I didn't get that memo in the second grade that says, yeah, if you're an intuitive, you might get pulled by energy, right? So, so for 2 decades, I was over medicated with 19 medications. I gained over 100 pounds, nearly died in 2013. And I'm sitting on the couch, and this is really where the downloads are coming. So my mom, she had passed 2 years earlier. My father, well, they died 18 months apart, right? And so it was like the perfect storm. My mom, all these drugs. They said 17. I don't know how many. I thought it was 19. But anyway, I was on a lot of drugs, and my both parents died. And so it's like this recipe for disease, right? Disease. And I couldn't function. So I went on disability for 3.5 years. And the first few months, my mom was piping in from the other side. And she's telling me to go see her neurologist. And I took her to this neurologist, by the way, for 7 years because I was her caretaker. So I call up Dr. Gordon and I tell him that I'd like to come see him. And they go, well, do you have a referral? And I paused about that. And I said, well, kind of. Not the one you're looking for. It's from my mom. Anyways, 30 days later, the second time they, after some things had happened, they let me back in and they let me see him. And I get there and I said, Dr. Gordon, my mom sent me to you. And he looked at me and he said, talk to me. First doctor that listened. So that's where I went through the doctor-managed process of getting off of all the medications, going to a whole food diet, organic, and removing the toxic water, toxic foods, toxic cleaners, toxic makeup, toxic. So toxic people. Oh, that was fun. Right? And so this is why I do what I do. And I reversed everything using plants and energy. I take 0 medications unless you stand with me that food is your medication, that I take medication every single day.
What kind of diseases or disorders do you have?
Great question. I had small fiber neuropathy, cholesterol. Oh, by the way, you can't reverse small fiber neuropathy, right? Yeah, okay. I had cholesterol, high cholesterol. I was diabetic. I I had trigger fingers. I had 2 torn rotator cuffs. I usually have to get the list out. I had incontinence, so I was peeing in bed, right? I would pee during the night, didn't wake up because my brain was turned off, and then I'd wake up cold and wet. So the buck slip that you have, you can download the story. But the point is, I had so many conditions, and not to mention, depression, anxiety, panic attacks. And what I practice today, I'm a medical intuitive, and I practice helping people reclaim their health. And I have a huge focus on brain health and mental health, because if we can effectively manage our thoughts, which we can rule ourselves instead of having people rule us, right? And if you can own your own person and love yourself where you're at, that's ruling yourself, right? And you don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be mad about it. You don't have to have any bad energy around it. Just love yourself and show up, and know that sometimes people aren't going to love you back, and be okay with that too. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So, and from this, I will just say, I created 3 programs from this journey. Functional food program, which is being converted. It's very expensive, so it's being converted to $99 for self-paced next week. It'll be available for purchase. I also created the Place of Peace, because I was having those panic attacks. I have this Place of Peace that helps you de-stress in 20 minutes. And people think that, oh, she must be this Zen woman. No. I didn't have peace, so I created it. Okay. And then the third thing is the 3 R's. And so shall we get started? Okay. So it's going to be a lot of engagement. So that's the most talking that I'm doing. Okay. And I'm really, we had a quiz that I wanted you to take. So if you don't take it today because we don't have technology, that's fine. I'm going to walk you through it. But when you get home, go to Dr. John Demartini's website, who I studied under since 2018. He's one of the contributing authors to the book, The Secret. And he will walk you through 13 questions on how to determine what your highest values are. Okay? But meanwhile, let's talk about it now. So, Adam, I'm going to pick on you first. So if you had to think about the top 3 things that you think are your highest values, what would you say they are? Love. I'll make it a different piece of paper. Loves. Oh, did you take the test?
Yeah, I just did this. Well, I didn't do the color coding part, but I did.
Okay, so you got love, spirituality, and transformation.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Did anybody else take the test? No? Okay, so Raphael, what do you think your highest values, your 3, if you had to, since you got to be part of it?
I believe they are
Inspiration,
love,
love, trust. Okay. Andrew, what are yours?
Mine are family,
Okay.
health,
Uh-huh.
and spirituality.
Spirituality. Okay. So mine's health. Why do I forget mine? So mine was health, which includes spirituality. Okay. And then my other one was family, and then my finances. Like I have a huge, you can't spend 30 years in finance and sorry. Okay. So Philip, what do you think yours are? Okay.
Health,
Uh-huh.
and
Oh yeah, I can see all day, right?
nature.
All right. Dinah, what do you think yours are?
I would say integrity,
Nice.
nature,
Uh-huh.
and love.
And love. Okay. Pamela,
Health,
health,
family,
family,
and acceptance. Um, I like nature also.
nature. So you want nature or acceptance?
Right now, we don't go with nature.
Nature. Okay. So here's what we teach. That, and I'm going to find my little scrunchie because it's a little toasty. Yay, and we have one that at least goes with the outfit. Okay. Not that anybody would see it from behind, but you feel it, right? So I'm going to put myself on the spot first because I don't want to do that to you. So what we ask is, like for me, my number one value is health. It's like 75% of my pie chart, right? And so in my home, yeah, because it's my work, it's what I do, it's what I live by my highest value, right? So Dr. DeMartini says, well, okay, so what evidence do you have, Jodi, Dinah, Adam, Philip, Pamela, Andrew, Raphael? What evidence do you have in your home, in your life, in your activities that shows that health, Jodi, is your number one value? Raphael, that inspiration is your number one value. Pamela, that health, and so on. So for me, I have racks and racks and racks of either essential oils or vitamins. I'm filled with organic foods, right? And like everything I do is health. I don't watch TV. Like everything I do is on health. And I consider spirituality health, right? Mind, body, spirit. So if I'm not doing those things, I'm praying or channeling or helping other people with their health. Okay. So Pamela, tell me what, because I'm going to pick on you. Can I pick on you? Okay. So what in your home or in your workplace gives evidence?
In my home, full of herbs.
Did you say birds?
Herbs.
Oh, herbs.
Herbs.
Okay, because we have birds. We have a birds full of our house. But yeah, go ahead.
Herb tea.
Uh-huh.
I like dealing with herbs. I blend my own. I'm a aromatherapy. I like blending my own herbs. Plant medicine. And I like eat as healthy as I can. If I can find reasonable organic food, I buy those. I cook my vegetables. I go to the garden and get vegetables and cook those. So everything based on health. And like I said, I don't watch TV. I always listening to audible books on spirituality stuff. It's got to be something like that. It doesn't interest me. And I like to go out into nature.
Yeah, I love nature too.
Outside, planting my little garden.
So you have a lot of evidence for health.
And I always like helping people save their lives if I can, but now it's all about me.
Awesome. Awesome. So, and Spirit tells me you are living by your highest values. So, well done. Yeah. Oh, I got all chills. All right. So, Raphael, you've got inspiration, love, and trust. So, where would we find evidence? Can I pick on you? Okay. So, where would we find evidence in your home, your work, and your daily activities?
I don't think you would find it. I think it's so it's kind of Cooperation, trust. Like it's about knowing self and being able to speak up for self or for others.
So empowerment.
Within relationships, there's that open vulnerability.
Oh, so relationships, empowering people. That's your highest, like,
That's like the trust.
okay.
That's what trust encompasses.
Yeah.
So you don't really see evidence of it. Because
Well, hold on. Talk to me about your friendships.
well, there are not many.
Okay, fair enough.
So I'm learning to accept people how they are.
So you're okay. So you, removing judgment is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Good job.
So in striving for truth, I would say, trust
Mm-hmm.
is I'm working on it. I always felt people had to be perfect.
No, I can't imagine where you got programmed for that.
I don't know where I got that from. But it's like
I mean, really?
it's a lonely life. No one's perfect.
Right? So who here has ever been programmed that we had to be perfect at some point in time in our lives, ever? Some things, right? I mean, I was programmed. I was a perfectionist. I nearly killed myself with that shit. Oops, we're still on live, sorry. Oopsie. I guess we're not perfect. Andrew and I have in our home, we converted our second bedroom to the place of peace, that peace center, and we have two tapestries. Well, we have multiple tapestries, and we chose one tapestry over the other. Andrew, you want to share why?
To hang up. So
Yeah, to hang up on the wall.
when we
Sorry.
were living in Illinois, there was a friend of ours whose husband was retiring in textiles. You know, always really high-end samples, pillows and tapestries and stuff. This is thrown away. She says, "We'll take these. They're high-end. They're just decent, like that big." But we took some and we had them with us, and we're trying to figure out which we're going to hang on the wall. I said, "Really like this one, but it's got all the tatters. It's got cut out the bottom. It's so free." I said, "But that kind of like how life is. We aren't perfect. We're all got really good front. We're trying to show people that there's stuff that's on the bottom that's tattered and frayed. We don't want to hide. But we don't have to hide. We got to put it out there. So we're going to hang that one on the wall. That's what we choose."
Yeah, and so what he doesn't know is I'm creating like this little plaque to hang from it, which is to embrace, life's imperfections, right? So kind of like transmute that programming. Thank you, Raphael, for bringing that up about how you had this idea that things needed to be perfect. Yeah, it's a hard nut to crack, right? So, but I mean, where do you, going back to like truth and seeking truth, and I can't read my own handwriting. Oh, losing the judgment is what I have here. And you say you don't have a ton of friends. So I don't want to like put you totally on the spot. I mean, you have friends here, so you have friends and family. Do you have family here or no family? I get that. I'm there. I have family, but they just don't show up. Anybody else have that? I mean, like, yeah. And that doesn't go for my entire family. I do have some family that show up. But the truth of the matter is our family is our chosen family, the people we choose to bring into our lives, right? Blood does not necessarily make our family. And when it does, it's a blessing. So Dinah, let me ask you, you had integrity, nature, and love for highest values. Where is that showing up for you?
In my work.
In your work. Okay.
My love for people.
So what do you do?
Therapy.
Nice. I love therapists. Yeah. Therapist saved my life, right? So can you see where integrity and love and nature show up, and can you describe to us where that shows up?
I mean, I'm always in nature. I mean, any opportunity to get out in the garden, I'm there every day.
Nice.
Just tanning away, enjoying the sun, flowers, planting, gardening.
Well, you can teach me. I know what to do with the stuff that grows. I don't know how to grow it yet.
Oh no, I did say I was an avid gardener, that I've grown plants and they're successful. I just enjoy being around.
Amen.
I've just been on it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I kind of take my therapy outside. It's more intuitive therapy. It's not kind of European ideology therapy.
Oh, so you have the best therapy.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So my doctor, she's a doctor of psychology. She fired me a long time ago, but I saw her for 5 years, and she was an intuitive therapist. She didn't market herself that way, but trust me, and that's really the way you want to go. So Philip, you're on the hot spot. So yours are family, health, and nature. Where's the evidence?
Yeah, so this is interesting because I can see things in my life that encompass multiple aspects of that.
Okay.
Like, I'm a huge fan of going to farmers markets, like actual street farmers markets rather than stores, and really developing connections with the farmers, so they become like family to me. And it's really important to me, to get local, organic produce, heirloom varieties, things that are actually right, and I have a painting in my apartment, and it's been handed down from the family, and I said I want that piece because my grandparents took in starting artistry profession, and he paid them in paintings.
Wow.
And he became well known in Chicago after the Depression. But the painting that I said I want that is a painting of the wet.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
And so for people who don't know Philip, he's all about the nature. You want to describe what you do for a living?
Yeah. So I work in Clean Water Act.
Clean Water Act. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Clean Water permitting and policy issues.
Yeah. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah. And I go to see different practitioners for wellness in different areas of my life. I have supplements and herbs and essential oils.
Right.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, so it shows up. Yeah.
And I'm pretty religious with my work. It's
You're pretty religious with your.
my workout program.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Well, I have to take that on. I'm actually working with a practitioner who's helping me get my thighs working again, because they are working, and they weren't working as well as I wanted them to. It was like they weren't firing, right? So, but now they're starting to fire and wire together. So there you go. Thank you to Michele. Adam, move on up here, honey. Thank you. So, yours was love, spirituality, and transformation. Share with us where that shows up for you. Where's the evidence? Oh, it's easy. I've known you for a week, and I know how this shows up.
Well,
And we have an orb here, so I don't know who's here. Spirit.
I
Oh, my.
spend most of my time
Dad.
serving people's transformation and spirituality.
Yeah.
That's
and allows them to receive love, right? From the highest power. Yeah, but it also allows them to receive love. You provide that path. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you do. Like I said, I've known Adam for a week. And Andrew, I didn't mean to miss you. Family, health, and spirituality.
So family, I've got two boys. One graduated from South Carolina this year. And he's got a job working at a startup. He's headquartered here downtown, but he gets to work from home. So he's going to live with my ex-wife. Was with her for 30 years, long time, long relationship, and we're in different paths. And happened to meet Jodi. I'll get back to the family. Jodi's part of my family. She's a big part of my family. I met her as I was having a real challenge, and she was coaching me and helping me through some things, and really make a huge difference for me in my life, my well-being. The family, Jodi's my love of my life, and she's wouldn't be anywhere else with her. But they've got two boys who are very, very close with Boy Scouts and sports and helping with school and all that. And I was, again, married for a long time, very close to her during that time. In fact, even today, I had my youngest brother been suffering, he's been depression and all that, and I haven't talked to him in a while, it's been a long time. And I said, I got to just call him. And Jodi said, we gotta get a program today. I said, yeah, but Phil, I gotta call him. And great, it was a great call. He appreciated the outreach, and we're gonna talk again like a week. So family is very important. Health is a part of my life. Keeping myself healthy and getting understanding how a healthy diet, how supplements, how energy healing can be a big part of my life through Jodi. That's transformed my life, and now I work in it. Work with Jodi every day. So
He's a Reiki master. So.
My other thing. So it's really part of my life and part of my work. That's evidence every day.
Yeah, I would second that. So how do we know when we're not living by our highest values? What does that feel like? How does that show up? Dinah, I'm going to call on you first. Depression. Yeah, right?
Feeling of stuckness.
Suckness? Okay, I think that's a technical term.
Stuck.
Oh, suckness. Suckness is a good one, though, too. Suckness.
Yeah. So I just feel that most people, we've all experienced it. There's like a block, emotional block, a mental block, a spiritual block that we're in the way.
Right.
And all we need to do is to find the path of peace.
Right. Thank you.
Let it go, and the solution will come.
And give it to God, right?
Yeah.
Or source. I'm a new thing I started last few weeks is stop using the word God. And not that I don't believe in God. I absolutely believe in God, but there's different definitions. I want to make sure I'm calling in the right one. So it's source. And so if I mess up, that's why you can just correct me. So yeah, it's stuckness, right? The chi's gone, right? The flow's gone. Depression. Philip, what else do you feel? Yeah. Raphael, when you don't feel like you're living by your highest values? Drained. Big one, right? And how many of you have ever gotten drained and are trying to reason it away? Oh, it's because I just went for a 5-mile run or something. You ever done that? Yeah, and so what do you do when you're drained? Do you just give into it, or do you start asking questions of source? Pamela, you're asking questions of source, right? Raphael, are you asking questions of source? Or are you giving in? You tough it out.
Fair enough. This is today. So I ran 5 miles. I came back, and all of a sudden I was just out of it. It's just ran My tire's hot. Say it's worse. It's not that. I feel like I want to go to sleep and just give in. She said it's worse than that. Talk about this.
Yeah. So Andrew and I have been under in the past energetic attack. He and I are twin flames, and we're both pretty good healers, right? And so for us to come together, the other side didn't want that. And so it was around noon, right, when all that started happening. And
Say the other side.
The dark side.
Oh, the dark side. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're getting stronger together.
We're stronger, so
Yeah.
the stronger they get. Now they're pretty weak. Their influence on us is pretty minuscule at this point. And I pick up on it really fast. I'm like, yeah, okay, like bye, right? So, I said to Andrew, I said the other side doesn't want us bringing peace to this group today. They're trying to create chaos and anxiety and stress and frustration for us. So we're out of balance. So like I core up, right? Ground, connect to source, core up. Then Adam called. Moments later. Not sure we can have the room. Can we do this another day? And I said, no. I said, there's somebody who needs to hear what we're going to talk about today. And I said, and the dark side, is working. So let's not let him win. I'll clear whatever energy we need to clear and make sure we have a space to play in today. And so I cleared it, right? And we had 2 rooms.
They did it.
Uh-huh.
They had it played. The other group decided to come. They decided to tough it out and come. They cleared out the room so they could have their meeting. So they put all the stuff out in the hallway. By the time we got here.
Yeah. So I want everybody to close their eyes because we're still talking about what you're talking about. Close your eyes. And I want you to imagine the color yellow. Yellow, 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 yellow. Okay, yellow. Do you see yellow yet when you're thinking yellow? Yeah, right? Yellow. And sometimes when you open your eyes, you'll see a haze of yellow. So if you open your eyes, you'll kind of see a haze of yellow too. So our thoughts, did everyone have that experience? You're seeing yellow? Okay, you can open your eyes. So our thoughts drive our reality. Isn't that flipping powerful? I know you know this.
It's a nice reminder.
Yeah. So our thoughts drive our reality. I'm just going to let that sink in for a moment. Because I kind of need to process that, right? Like how powerful our thoughts are, that it drives our reality. It drives everything that we see. Which means if we expect our brother to be a jerk when he shows up, guess what you're getting? If you expect the room not to be ready today, guess what you're getting? If you expect your coworker to not complete the task on time so you can get your part of the work done, guess what you're getting? If you expect your best friend not to show up on time, guess what you're getting? Expect the best. No one to better. And what I do, Andrew, and by the way, I want to acknowledge you. So we were running late today, and he didn't say a word. Usually he'll get like a little nutty with me. Oh, we gotta be on time, right? But he gets it. It's divine timing. He adopted that like it's nobody's business. He's amazing.
I've been watching this series on Samsung. I don't normally watch TV, but it's a channel that it's free. And they've got like a whole catalogue. It's under the faith channel of miracles docu-series of miracles, and I've been watching them back to back to back. And I think what people don't realise is that when you're out and about and you're doing things, there are forces involved in your life every day.
Every day. And in case anybody didn't hear this on the stream, because we have people listening, what Dinah is saying, we have forces working for and against us, right? Every single day, wherever we go, right? Go ahead. Keep talking.
So, for example, there was one situation where this man, he's a police officer, and the head controller said, I'm going to dispatch you to go out to this particular area. But from the beginning of the day, he had this urge in his body that something was going to happen. He doesn't follow urges, and they had this, him and his wife had this like private comical moment about, oh yeah, urges for you. You don't follow your urges. He's like, yeah, I just feel like something's going to happen. So anyway, he jumps in the car with the dispatch, calls the dispatch to go off, but he has this feeling that he shouldn't go to this particular destination. So as he's on the way to the destination, he stops. He's supposed to go right, and an indicator on the car automatically starts flashing
Left. Yeah, I heard it.
And he's like, okay, then maybe I'm supposed to go left. So he goes left. He doesn't know where he's going. He just says, okay, I have a feeling I'm supposed to go down this particular path. So he keeps on going. And he gets to the top of the hill, and he sees two people on the floor, blood pouring from their face.
Oh my.
The motorbike is toppled over, and he's like, oh my God. So he rushes over, and the woman's like, I was praying to God, I needed someone to come. No one was going to ever find them there. They were in the complete desert almost. And when the ambulance came, they said, had you had left it 5 or 10 minutes later, this woman would have suffered and died.
Wow.
And there's so many accounts of where people arriving in their mind late, but it was late, it was right on divine time.
Wow.
And so now I don't rush. I was in the car today. The man's backside was sticking out. I couldn't turn right. There were cars behind me. I can't go anywhere. Most people would have popped the horn to get this man to get into the proper lane so I could turn right. I just sat there and I was like, hey, it's okay. It's fine. I'm not going to rush because he could be preventing me from a situation that happened or happening. So I just
Divine timing, right?
Yeah.
And you listen to God or source. You listen to source energy. And the person who in the car, they listened to source energy. They were being taken on the path, right?
One thing you say I don't always like what I hear, but I follow anyway.
Oh, I don't always like what I hear. I do exactly what they tell me to do. Yeah, exactly what they told me to do. And Andrew, I feel compelled to have you share your story as a 16-year-old,
So,
if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. As a 16-year-old, I was at home, and my parents said, we're going to go away for the Memorial Day holiday weekend. You're working, so you can stay here. Just don't go out with your friends. I said, sure. My friends came over. They said, come on, you can go out with us. I said, no, I really can't. I told my parents wouldn't do it. No, come on. I said, well, sure. How's anyone going to find out? They was much worse. So I lived in Virginia. I went to Washington, D.C. And come about 1:30 in the morning to get back in the car. This is a 1970 Chevy Malibu. This was in the early 80s. Two-door. You could sit 3 people across the front seat, bucket seat. Back then, you could sit 3 people in the bucket seat car. So the driver gets in, I get in, and the other passenger starts getting in. He says, hey, get in the back seat. It's too crowded up here. I said, I feel more comfortable here. How could you feel more comfortable here? It's so crowded. I said, something tells me to be at peace. Whatever. So we sit there, no seatbelts, doors unlocked. Back in the early 80s, people didn't always do that. They didn't wear seatbelts. We're driving along, it's raining. The driver's not really paying attention. There's a fork in the road. They live down this way, live this way. I say, you're going to miss my exit. The slams on the brake at 65 or 70 miles an hour. The car hits a concrete barrier. He gets smashed up badly. I get ejected. The two of us get ejected from the car. That's really passenger line. He flags down someone on the road. He calls 911 just before cell phones were around. So it was nice of them to stop that early morning in the rain. And they come, they get the driver who's massively bleeding, and if they hadn't gotten him, he would have died. And then this other guy, our friend Bill, is still awake, and he says, our friend Andrew's back there. No, there's no one else back there. Yeah, he's really back there. No, there's nobody else back there. You're delirious. He says, no, really. He said, you guys were just two of you sitting in the front seat. They called the ambulance, they found me, but they didn't find me originally. And then the report says, we went someplace, we didn't know why we went there, just like in a bush somewhere. We didn't expect to find it. We were called to go and find it. And so they found me, and I was in coma for 4 days, in the hospital for a month. And I really recovered well, but looking at it, still there's still some things going around with emotions in that far past. But the police report said something interesting. It said, we don't know why all three kids were sitting in the front seat, but it's a good thing because if anyone had been sitting in the back seat, they'd been crushed and killed. And so somebody asked me a year ago, so when did you realize you had intuition? I said, I don't know. Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
And as a 16-year-old, I didn't really, I was just trying to fit in. I had lots of things still not working. As when I came out of that coma, I wasn't thinking about trying to tell my story to the world, all that. I was just trying to fit in. That's what every teenager wants to do. And I did well. I progressed well. But it's about listening, and that's a great example of living. You get a voice and you don't always know why. You think it makes no sense. Listen to that voice and follow.
Yeah. Anybody find themselves not listening?
Oh yeah.
Certainly me.
Okay.
You?
I'm not the story. I'm just saying I'm notorious not listening.
So I get feelings tugs to go a certain direction.
Okay.
Whether I'm walking or driving or whatever. And it was in the past I would always like question it,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense, and I'm gonna be late if I go that way, or this way is much more direct. And then so I would ignore it and I would go the way that I would normally go, and there would always be something that came up if I went that way that wasn't the best.
Right? It's like so we have an issue surrendering, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I would follow the voice, nothing would happen. And I would know
All right.
Right.
what would have happened if I went the other direction. And I had to eventually get to the point where it's like, I don't need to know. Just for there not to be something bad happen, it's enough for me to listen to that voice and go, okay.
It's a really good point. You do what you're called to, and nothing happens. Well,
Yeah.
now I know that was the right decision.
It's like you really don't want to know. So we're new to Georgia, and I was going to Kennesaw Mountain to hike. Since you're all empathic, I highly recommend that you don't. Just saying, big battlefield. And so I missed the turnoff, and I go straight. It's irrelevant what the streets are because I can't tell you anyway. But the point is, they didn't want me going in there because when I finally made my way back, huge car pileup, right? Like when I finally made my way back, and I'm like, yeah, because the energy on the mountain at Kennesaw, it's so filled with anger and grief and strife, like a lot of strife. So I clear it as I go, which it's a lot to clear. I think we'd all have to go together, like do a powwow, just saying. So anyways, so this gives evidence to that. And so we've all had, let me just kind of try to wrap up because it's 7:00 and we kind of did it, not like a speak, but kind of all of a Q&A engagement that way. But We talked about the highest values. Are we living by them? What was the evidence of those highest values? And then, how do we know then we're not living by those highest values? We get depressed, we have anxiety, we get frustrated, we get pissed. And like we get pissed at somebody and we don't even know why we're pissed at them. We just know we're pissed, right? So these are the things. And so what I do is support people in being in alignment with your highest values, not mine, but yours, and identifying what those are, and then working with source energy and perfecting your ability to listen, right? And I became an active listener when I was 18 because I was in sales. So if I wanted to make money, I became a listener. So then when it came with God, like that just made sense to me. And so it really allows you, when you live by your highest values, get rid of the things, people, food, water, whatever, that doesn't serve you. And you know what that is for you because you don't feel good when you're around it, right? We talked about that. And then it limits those interferences. And if you don't have these interferences, you can just be and hear. And then there's no question, like literally no question. And so when someone challenges you, Adam, you're like, okay, you can just be with that because it's on them. It's no longer on you because you've got guidance. You've got divine guidance, right? So you don't need to, if they need to question, that's fine. Let them question it. You're clear, right? You can look yourself in the mirror. You can sleep at night. Point made? Okay. Same with you, by the way. I heard you need to hear that. Raphael. I don't know you, but Spirit said, make sure you let him know. And so the only other thing that I wanted to cover, and I don't know if it's really necessary in this class, because you guys are very enlightened and very, I was going to see if we feel that we need to perfect our ability to core up. So ground, connect to source, keep ourselves energetically protected in these uncertain times. Is that something you want to do and practice real quick, or? Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm just going to say this, and because now they're telling me what I need to say. So what they're saying is, okay. So you're not all doing this. Somebody in there in the room is not connecting the dots. If you're not living by your highest values and you're drinking toxic water, okay, which comes in a bottle that comes out of your tap. Bottled water, by the way, is toxic. Okay. If you're eating conventional foods only once in a while, and I'm not saying most of you probably can muscle test it, right, to see if it's responsibly produced. It doesn't have to have the seal on it. It doesn't have to have the organic seal. Muscle test it. If you're allowing people to treat you in a way that's not in alignment with your highest values and you're not saying no, these are all ways in which your energy leaks. And you get an energy leak, and now you're having trouble getting and doing what you need to do. Can't stay focused. You get depressed, anxiety, stress. So does this resonate with someone here in the group? Anyone? Like where you're maybe taking a shortcut on what you do and how you do it, and then you find yourself in a place where it's not really where you want to be? Can I get a raise of hand? Okay.
It seemed like I enjoy them, or let's say I don't watch a lot of sports anymore. Let's watch sports. I enjoy it, so that's my highest value. I enjoy it, but it's like if I'm doing that, I can't do something else. Like watching one of these spiritual videos, or taking a walk outside, enjoying nature like I do.
Or going for a run for 5.5 miles a day.
Going for a run. I can't do that, which are my highest values, because I decided to put something else in front. That's a problem. It's a problem. So then I don't feel good about myself. I become a little more weak, more fractured.
Anybody else have an experience like that?
Well, I was just thinking about this tonight. We were talking. Sometimes it's when you do an activity that is really aligned with your values, you realize that you weren't being aligned with your values and what you were doing previously.
Right.
Like, I was at the Botanical Gardens earlier today, and I spent hours.
We would have joined you. We've got tickets.
and I just felt like so groovy, I was like in the zone, and it was just like, I love it here. And I was like watching the water flow, and I'm like, I really need a fountain at home. Like, I need to find a fountain. Like, there was just all this stuff, and I realized, like, I hadn't had that excitement, yesterday.
Right. So, like, for this, we're supposed to be done now, and I could go for another hour, right? Because I'm in my. This is what I love to do. I love to empower people to be more self-aware than they were the moment ago, right? And to then take the steps that they can take to get to where they need to go, because that lights me up, right? Andrew loves to go running, so he's like I just want to acknowledge. I mean, he goes running now. He used to oh, well, I need to take care of Jodi. I'm like, no, you don't. You need to take care of yourself. So someone here is not. Raphael, I'm going to pick on you because Spirit's pulling me to you. Where are you not taking care of yourself? Where are you living for somebody else?
I would say it's my current work.
It's your current work? Okay.
To an extent. So I got this work that it's turning into something much more. And part of me is I'm forcing myself to complete certain tasks so I can get in the door. So I'm insurance. So I'm getting
Okay.
licensed to become a broker.
Yeah.
But I'm also pretty sure I'm about to acquire a company.
You're going to acquire a company.
Yeah, so within that, then I can make it bigger.
You make it yours.
Yes, but it's going to be a partnership. So I think right now I'm kind of muddling through getting to that point. Because I keep asking them, show anything in business? So if my business partner, he's like, yes. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll stay in it, you're in it. But there's other pockets of avenues. Both can be creative and make money. It's just this is where he started, and this is where I kind of fell into it. So I'm kind of wanting to flip the business in the sense of making it profitable, making it something much grander, taking parts of this vision and mission together. But that's like last year I wanted to quit. Like I wanted, this isn't right. But now it's like
I hear you wanted to quit last year because you didn't have ownership.
I don't know that it's the ownership.
And I don't mean ownership. I mean ownership. Like you. Well, he didn't. But someone in the space was not giving him the freedom to be. So that you could run with your ideas and run, that's the ownership I'm talking about. The ability to run with your thoughts, your ideas, your drive, your mission, and you needed to put like your stamp on it. And this is allowing you to put your stamp on it. Oh, so there was a self-limiting belief that you couldn't do that. Is that what you're saying?
maybe. And I just think that
Yes.
there isn't really a person.
Got it. So it was your higher self. Okay, got it. So it was your lower self and your higher self. You were fighting the reality.
Always.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, welcome to Earth School 101. Right. So, well, this is, yeah, this has been fun. I mean, I'll keep going if you guys want to go, but um,
So what should I do? So what you were telling me what you were saying to
what's your question? What should you do with these people?
no.
You were saying you weren't taking care of yourself. So what can you do to take care of yourself?
Or what can you do without the self?
Yeah, so when I'm channeling, I don't necessarily remember. You have to put the replay button or ask somebody in the.
Just go with my ideas.
Well, so I would maybe modify that a little bit. So you come up with ideas, right? And most of the time, those are given to you by spirit, right? Either spirit guides or, source energy, like that. And then I would meditate on it and make sure it's for your highest good. And I would go to the Dr. D. Martini link and find out what your highest values are, and make sure before you invest your time and money that aligns with your highest values. Because if it doesn't align with your highest values, they're telling me it's going to fail and fail big. This is not a time in the universe where you can do something and win without it being aligned with your highest values. It's not going to happen. Is it, do you think, aligned with your highest values?
This current business.
The thing that you're creating, the business that you're, the insurance.
Yes. In the sense of
Oh, huge. They just resound. Yes, huge. And the person you're doing it with, can you tell me? Oh, you love this person.
yeah, we can do it. It was incredible. I'm like, is this real? Is this really happening? That this is partnership.
Yeah.
That there's something that I know there's something on the plate, and I just have to go just trust, have faith, and the inspiration that started this is leading me to great.
It's right on. Good job. Really good job. Good job. I would encourage you to continue to meditate when you get to crossroads, and bring in spirit energy, source energy, to make sure that you're headed in the right place. For sure. So
I would say for me, the last couple of weeks I've noticed I'm a very social person, a social butterfly. So sometimes I'll have like 3 events to go to in one day, and I just have to pick. And then I'm indecisive and I don't end up going. So I'm not supposed to go. And I just stay in, and it's nice outside. And I would be out, but for some reason I'm not going out. And I don't feel upset, and I'm thinking, why is this happening? It's never happened to me before. And I feel like it's funny because at the beginning of the year I said to my friend, I prophesied and I said, I think this is a year where everybody's going to have to be still.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's going to be forced to be still. She had a car wreck.
Oh.
And then I had one in March. It was a hit and run. And God was saying, you have to be still. I wasn't just talking about them, I was talking about you. So
Yeah, because here's the thing: if we don't follow what he says that we need to do,
he shouts.
oh yes he will.
That's his way of saying fix your ass.
Right.
That's what he was doing.
So if you don't take a break and cancel on the word break, if you don't take time to rest and do self-care, By the way, that's the name of my show, Self-Care. Self-care and then cellular care.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to give you,
That's what
they're going to give it to you anyway.
because last year I was different and rolling last year.
Yeah.
And then I'm back on the road now, but I still have that energy of I'm not supposed to be out the way I was before. I have to be at home, and I've been very productive. I've managed to just take off in a different way that I didn't expect. So I feel the residue of me being at home, but I was using Uber everywhere and only going out seldomly, is still with me. I'm not supposed to be out the way I was. I can go out and enjoy myself, but they really want me to focus on
You.
You know, Adam's thinking away about what's going on. I know you already like, what's going on with that? I can see it.
Yeah, when you're in a room with a bunch of intuitives and their eyes go up here, they're like, okay, they're listening, just not to you.
But I'm also, but I'm also recognizing I've been going through the same.
Oh, you have.
Yeah. And
Me too.
Jodi knows this. Jodi's the only one that knows this. So last Sunday, I wrote in my journal, I was really debating on what should I do for 4th of July. And my mother sent a request a week earlier asking all of her children to come home for this event. And it was a no. Like it was immediately like, no, like, you're not going. And I could feel the Adam, the blood family, wanting to be there with his family, wanting to be there. I could feel the distinction, but I could also feel something just very, no, it's not correct. But the guilt of it overwhelmed me. So on that Sunday, she wanted us there on the Sunday. But when Sunday came, I had a lot of peace about not going. But on the day of Sunday, I was overwhelmed with guilt. And then I started thinking, I don't have anything to do. I'll just be sitting around doing nothing. Now, when I said that to myself, it felt great. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
It felt like, yes. Like, I literally felt something to say, and that's a luxury that we're given.
Right.
And I was like, no, I don't want to just be sitting here. I'm going to drive home. So I drove home. I woke up early that Monday.
It was Tennessee, right?
And I had to North Carolina.
North Carolina,
I had for strength to drive. I was like, this isn't right. Like, because I'm waking up feeling very much like fighting myself like it's a job. And when I got home, I did not know this. So one of the things that I always observed when I go to my family is that years ago I realized that I go see my parents, I can only go see my parents. I can't do extended family. Extended family really pulls me. They're sweet people. But
Okay, you're being nice versus kind, but go ahead.
They are sweet, but because of who I am, I become them. That's what it is. It is interference. So they really are sweet.
Oh.
I become. So when I see my cousin I grew up with,
You go back to that.
I
Yeah.
see him, he immediately goes into gossip about somebody I don't care about. I saw so-and-so, they look like crap. And I go right, I just pull right in that, right? And so everyone just sees Adam, and I pull right back into this 20-year-old, just very negative, gossipy energy of just very toxic. I don't like doing it, but I have not been able to have the resolve to say, hey, I know you're talking to Adam, but he's not who you think he is. I go right back into like instantly. And I was just like, this is not good. And I didn't, so this is going to get into this. When I drove home, I drive into my parents' yard, it's full of cars. Unbeknownst to me, there's a big family in the cookout. Cousins and people I hadn't seen in years.
Yeah.
I wanted to run. No one told me. Well, I didn't check in.
And so how did you check out?
So
You want to tell people?
I didn't check. I didn't volunteer to check out. The universe checked me out, and I called COVID the next morning.
Yeah.
It was. I woke up the next morning. I had COVID. I was grounded.
Yes, you were.
COVID. I woke up that Tuesday morning. I was as sick as a dog. I hadn't felt so sick. Now that Monday, I started feeling sick, and I knew instantly, I gotta get out of here. I'm getting sick from all of this. Whatever I've consciously done to lower my vibration, the moment that I started lowering my vibration, the energies in the conversation, the moment I was doing it, I felt my body go like, you're compromising us.
Right.
Compromising us. But I was like, damn, I'm home now. but I could feel myself compromised. More conversations kept coming. They kept coming. I hear my dad say, Adam in the house. So. They go, I ain't seen him in years. Let me go in there. And I'm like, please don't. Please don't come in here. And it's like every conversation I can feel a part of me get less and less and less. And so when I woke up that morning, I was sick. That was Tuesday. And I was grounded. It was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I was so immobilized and so sick and delirious that my parents said, we're taking you to the ER. Because I was like, I don't want to go to that. I don't want any of that. I don't want to be in that environment. That's going to make me sicker. I don't want anything. Trust me, I just need to get home. Yes. And my mom was like, no, it was such a big deal.
Did they make you go to the ER?
Yeah, and then I go, because I just can't fight. I couldn't fight and have energy to fight. And my mom was just going, I mean, it was just like she was just lost in this. It could be this, and it could be this, and you ain't been sick this long, it could be blah, blah, blah.
It doesn't matter what you got.
And then she was my dad, and so I go to the ER, and it's just, and I feel like I'm getting sick just being there. And finally, so now I'm there from what was supposed to be just a day trip. I was told not to do.
You were told not to do.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I still woke up sick, but I just finally said, I asked Spirit, I said, Spirit, if you could just give me enough energy to get back to it. And I said, they were like, you're crazy. Like, my mom was like, I am so bothered if you leave. And I said, well, I am so sorry. I said, just like this. She's like, you're not well. I said, I'm not that well. I said, no offense, I can't get well here. I said, thank y'all for everything. I said, Dad, thank you so much. Thank you, Mom. Thank you. And all my siblings are still there for me.
Like gratitude, and goodbye.
I cannot get well either. I said it like that. I said, I got to get my own space. And I got my little strength together, and I drove 6 hours. And it was a painful 6 hours, right? But it was so painful, but it was such a pull to get home. Right. This was the first trip I've probably taken in years. I did not stop at the time. 6 hours. And I was sick. But I was just like, get home.
But you were determined.
Get home. And then
you were driven by source.
As soon as I got here, I started to pick up. I started to get so much better. So I got here Saturday. Sunday, I started feeling better. Mondays. And then by the grace of God, me and Jodi connected. And I was feeling better, but I could still feel the toxin in my body. Took the COVID test when I got here, and I was positive.
Right.
And then I got on the phone with Jodi. We were just to set up all of this, and then she did
healing. So I ran a frequency on him for what was it? 12 minutes 49 seconds.
15 minutes,
it's 15 minutes, but 12 minutes 49 seconds, and it's a frequency that I created. Not really. So I took. When I lived in Illinois, there was a farmer who was growing a variety of different CBD species, and it had no THC and no CBD, right? So it's hemp, right? And Spirit came to me and said, well, he's not going to be able to replicate that on his land again. Measure it. So I did. So I used this. And I measured the frequency of those 3 plants, and I added on some other little Jodiisms to it. It removes all the toxicity from your body, like everything, mold, jabs, heavy metals, glyphosate, you name it. If it doesn't belong there, it goes away. How did you feel after I ran that?
She did it, and I told Jodi it felt like something from the inside.
Was it a tea you gave it?
No,
it's frequency.
She played a frequency.
I took the frequency from this, and I sent it to him. So like you have a key fob, right? To get into your car, you press the key fob, and it opens up the car door. I opened up his car door.
It felt like cleaning from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like something was pulling out stuff from me, but it was an interesting sensation. I could feel it from the inside. But sometimes people do Reiki energy. I can feel energy moving out of my aura. Like my aura's out here, I can feel stuff getting clear. And this felt like something had reached in the inside and was pulling stuff out of me.
It was. Yeah.
And when I finished, all of a sudden I had this vitality that I did not have.
He's like, I'm going for a walk.
And I need to go for a walk.
But that's what we're talking about.
Yes, that was Anna.
That is
I
right.
had to go for a walk, but I hadn't had the vitality. My body was just that achy from that COVID. But then I got the vitality, and I said, I'm going to the park and get some sunlight. And I got up and I was walking through the park, and I came back and I was feeling so much better. Then all of a sudden I had this vitality that really was not weird, but really was part of whatever was happening to me. I cleaned my bathroom. I am not a cleaner.
Oh, because you had all the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I just that was the only thing that I was pressed to do was clean. Like my roommate came and said, "Are you sick?" I said,
Well, I was sick before. Now I'm a different kind of sick.
I just was obsessed with cleaning. I was obsessed with cleaning.
Well, and the thing is, everybody's got heavy metals unless you've done. I don't care what detox you've done. I just don't care. And detoxes, in my opinion, are not safe. You can,
The detox is like,
you buy in the stores and they have you whatever, or from whatever. One that's a part of the story that I left out about my health journey is I sell doTERRA essential oils, and I love them. I think they're the best oils on the planet, but I don't ever encourage or make people become part of the MLM. Like, you can buy what you want to buy, not buy, become a member, I don't care. But these are the best oils that you can find because they're third party tested, and they're the most potent. And the reason you can use them medicinally, right? And so that's what's important to me, clean and medicinal. So,
Where do you put them on your skin?
that's a whole nother class, but I will.
aromatherapy.
I mean,
internally, skin, all kinds
Yeah, I mean, internally, externally, inhaling, so it gets to the brain, into the limbic system in 20 seconds.
of-
Yeah,
This
it's
is a
amazing.
Really, really powerful.
Oh, plant-based. Oh, all plant-based, yeah. But going back to the part of the journey, so I was using oils and I was using their vitamins, Lifelong Vitality, which I don't advocate for, okay? Love their products, love their oils, but there's just some things as a nutritionist that I don't advocate for. And my friend did Juice Plus, and she had me using the Juice Plus stuff. Now, I'm at the very beginning of my health journey, people, and they all told me to double up.
If it's working, take twice.
Yeah, like double up. So I double up on my Juice Plus, and I double up on my Lifelong Vitality, and I have hives all over my body. I'm in trauma, right? Think about this. I've been over medicated. I've got all this trauma. In traditional Chinese medicine, we know that when the body's in a traumatized state and you're not rotating your foods, your body starts to see that food as a predator, okay? And causes inflammation. And inflammation for you versus you is going to be different. But for me, it showed up as hives. And I'm bleeding. I've got scars, like you wouldn't believe, from years ago. They have not healed yet. And I say, yeah, it'll go away. So it was a way, it was one methodology that these people were trying to help me to detox from all the medications that I'd been on. It was too taxing on my organs. Frequency is not.
One of the things that go too fast.
Sometimes, most of the time. Yeah, sorry. Most of the time, you go too fast. Your poor kidneys are going, whoa. Liver's like, could you stop? Right? What happened to you?
Yeah. I did I was taking the Terra Acid Detox Herb blend, and I just felt terrible. Like, my gut was a mess. I had low energy, and then I was meeting Andrew for a hike, and I was like, I don't know if I have energy for a hike, but maybe I'll feel better once I get out.
Which was funny because you're the ever ready battery, right? I mean,
and I was just like, okay, well, maybe this is because I have to it gets worse before it gets better, and then when we met up and Andrew had spoken to you, Jodi, beforehand, and you were like, "Wait, saying what?" and I went back home afterwards and I muscle checked, and sure enough, it was like, "No, don't take this."
Well, you have a sensitivity like most people do to carrageenan, and that's in there.
Okay.
So, and I always just know. So I'm a medical intuitive. If there's something in something, I'll know in 2 seconds. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm a nutritionist. I'm an energy healer. I'm an intuitive. So I can look at something and tell you whether or not it's toxic. I can look at someone and tell you whether or not they've been vaccinated.
Have I?
I'm not doing that on live. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you still recording.
Yeah. I'm not doing that on live. So, and if I'm off on that, it's usually because of the percent of the vaccine that they got. I'm not supposed to be saying that word on here. Jab. So we're actually going to close this part up. Okay, we're going to end the broadcast. It's been really nice. We hope you got a lot of value out of that. Christina's saying when pulling metals, we have to be careful. I end up in 3 days from pulling too much at once. Absolutely, Christina. The frequency does it in 15 minutes and no ramifications. I'm grateful for you showing up. We are going to say goodbye, and we're grateful. Bye. Okay, so let's do that. 1 second.